right, today we are doing September 1995, Test 16, Section 1, Game 1, questions 1 through 6. 8 new students. R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, Z, 8 are being divided among 3 classes, Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3. Class 1 and 2 will gain 3 new students each. Class 3 will gain 2 new students each. So immediately we know all 8 of them are accounted for. We know that there's 3 classes. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to come down here and we're going to make the boxes that they told us that we should have. So they've basically done the setup for us. We don't have to do much figuring on numbers and math. And now we're going to look at the rules. R must be added to class 1. Ooh, doesn't get easier than that. S must be added to class 3. Again, another easy one. Neither S nor W can be added to the same class as Y. So we're just going to go here and we're going to S does not equal Y. W does not equal Y. V cannot be added to the same class as Z. V does not equal Z. If T is added to class 1, Z must also be added to class 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to if T equals 1, then T Z in 1. All right. So now it's time for us to do our inferencing. The first thing we're going to say to ourselves on this board here, well, what if T is in 1? If T is in 1, then Z has to be in 1, which means this is not Y, which means that Y has to be over here. And W can't be with Y, so W must be over here. That only leaves us V and X. This is gone, and that board is entirely filled in. Now, what if we don't have T in 1? That's another very important question that we have to ask ourselves. Every time you put something in there, you have to make sure that you don't put it in there. So we have Y, we have our S, we have our R, and this one is going to say not T. Now, a lot of people would leave it like this, but why would we do that? We know that there could be a T here or here, and there can't be a T there. So we're going to put the T in here. And we know that this can't be Y, or this can't be T, and we've already got the T, so that's done. And that's it for that one. So the other board, though, might give us some more information, so we're going to do that. Make 3 little boxes down here. 1, 2, 2 here. We're going to copy them exactly. We have an S here. We have an R here. Now this is not T, and this is not T. So T must be over here. So we've already tried the T over there, and we've already established it can't be here because it's up there. So now what we know is that we know that Y and W cannot be together. So we get YW, Y/W in 2. VZ cannot be together, so we have a VC here, and that leaves 1 spot for the X. So this board is completely filled in, this board is completely filled in, and just for simplicity's sake, I will label these 1, 2, and 3. So this board here is the only board that we might have to do a little bit of work on. Question 1. Which of the following is an acceptable assignment of students to the 3 classes? This is always a test the rules question. There are 5 answers, A, B, C, D, and E. There are 4 rules, 1, 2, 3, 4. Each one of these answers is going to violate one of these rules. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look for S and Y together. We can see that B has S and Y together in column 2, so B is going to be eliminated. We're looking for Y and W together. We can see that answer E has Y and W together, and answer E is going to be eliminated. we're looking for V and Z together. Now we can see in answer C, column 2, that V and C are together. Sorry, V and Z are together. And that's going to eliminate answer C. So the only choices we have left are A and D. And we're looking for T in 1, it has to have T, Z in 1. Answer A has T in 1 with R and Y, but there's no Z. So A is eliminated. And the correct answer for question number 1 is D. 1 is D. We're going to choose that and we're going to move on. Question 2. Which one of the following is a complete and accurate list of classes, any one of which could be the class to which V is added? Now, we know that V can be in 2. We know that V can be in 1. If I were to put V in 3, then Z could be here, Y could be here, W could be here, Y could be here, X could be here. That works fine. So the answer is E, 1, 2, or 3. Question 2, answer E. We're going to choose that and we're going to move on. Question 3, if X is added to class 1, which of the following is a student who must be added to class 2? Now, that sounds complicated, but what they're really asking us is which board are we using? And the answer is the only one that we can put X in is here, and the only person who must be in 2 is T. So the answer to 3 is A. We're going to select A and we're going to move on. Question 4. If X is added to class 3, each of the following is a pair of students who can be added to class 1 except. So again, what they're asking us is what board are we using? We're using board number 2 because X is that's the only one that has an available space for X, which means that we then have to have a Y, W, a W, Y, a V, Z, and a V, Z, and that board is complete. So what we're looking for is answer E, T and Z, because we know that T has to be in 2, it can't be in 3, and we're going to choose answer E for question 4, and we're going to move on. Question 5, if T is added to class 3, which one of the following is a student who must be added to class 2? So again, what are they asking us? They're asking us what board we're talking about. These are coulds. The only one that must be added to class 2 is X. So we're going to choose C, X. Question 5, the answer is C, X. We're going to select that and we're going to move on. Question 6, which of the following must be true? This is a question that's probably the hardest because we're going to have to do the most work. If T and X are added to class 2, V is added to class 3. So if we go T and X in 2, T and X in 2, that means that V has to be added to class 3. Now V can still go over in 1, so that's an incorrect answer. V and W are added to class 1. So V and W are added to class 1. So here we have V and W added to class 1. T is added to class 3. It is, but it doesn't have to be because we can add V and W over here. We can add a Y over here and a Z over here and an X over there and T is in 2, and that doesn't have to be true. It could be, but doesn't have to be. So A and B are both eliminated. V and W are added to class 1. Z is added to class 3. We already proved that X could be added there or T could be added there, so Z definitely doesn't have to be there. Answer C is incorrect and we're eliminating it. Answer D, if V and X are added to class 1. All right, so we're going to take V and X added to class 1. W is added to class 3. Well, I know that we can't have W with Y. There has to be a Y here because there cannot be a Y here. So W must go in 3. That's the answer. Answer 6 is D. We're going to choose it. We've moved on. We've got 100% correct.